All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. We're doing something really fascinating today. We are looking right under the hood at the exact source instructions used to engineer a premium documentary-style personal finance production. You know the kind. We consume this content all the time. But it's pretty rare that we actually get to see the blueprint creators use to build it from the ground up. Today, we're tearing down a highly specific set of instructions designed to capture attention, educate, and ultimately go totally viral. It's like a masterclass in how modern digital education is scientifically formulated to keep you watching. So, how are we doing this? 5 steps. First, the viral finance blueprint. Second, defining the wealth trap. Third, structuring the narrative arc. Fourth, the visual and audio aesthetics. And finally, the ultimate goal. Okay, part 1, the viral finance blueprint. Target audience and topic. Let's get into it. Right off the bat, this source material leaves absolutely nothing to chance. Look at the specified topic and title here. Why the middle class never gets rich. The wealth trap explained. I mean, that is meticulously engineered to be clicked on. It hits on a huge, widespread financial frustration, right? And then it promises to reveal a hidden truth, this wealth trap. It immediately sets up a conflict. It's basically telling the viewer, hey, we're going to give you the exclusive explanation for that financial pinch you're feeling every single day. And the instructions are incredibly specific on length, too, strictly demanding a duration of exact 7 to 10 minutes. Why that specific window? Well, in the educational content game, that is the absolute algorithmic sweet spot. It gives you enough time to deliver substantial documentary-style value and, frankly, qualify for those optimal ad placements, but it's short enough to respect the viewer's time. It gets out before your attention inevitably starts to drift. Now, this brilliantly illustrates the demographic targeting outlined in the blueprint. The content must appeal specifically to Americans aged 18 to 45 who already care about personal finance, investing, and financial freedom. So they aren't trying to boil the ocean here. They are laser-focused on a demographic right in their prime earning, spending, and wealth-building years. By defining the audience this strictly, every single instruction that follows, the tone, the visual style, the content itself, can be perfectly tuned to resonate with this exact group. Moving on to part 2. Defining the wealth trap, financial pitfalls. What's super interesting here is that the creator doesn't just get to pick and choose which financial traps they want to talk about. The blueprint requires them to feature exactly these 5 hidden pitfalls: lifestyle inflation, bad debt, credit cards, car payments, and a lack of investing. Why these 5? Because they are practically universal to that 18 to 45 target demo. I mean, almost everyone in that bracket has wrestled with a car loan or credit card debt at some point. By forcing the focus onto these deeply familiar struggles, the blueprint guarantees the final product is going to strike a very personal chord. Now, to really make the educational side hit home, the prompt sets up a direct comparison between ordinary lifestyles and luxury ones, and it insists on using real-life examples with simple numbers. It's not just about listing facts. The instructions heavily emphasize contrasting the habits of the middle class with the habits of millionaires. It's a classic, tried-and-true teaching tool. It hands the viewer a crystal-clear, do this, not that framework. Plus, sticking to simple numbers means the audience won't get bogged down in a complex math lesson. It keeps the whole thing super accessible. All right, part 3, structuring the narrative arc, pacing and storytelling. This right here is absolutely crucial. The guidelines demand a shocking hook within the very first 5 seconds to instantly grab the viewer. Look, in today's digital landscape, the battle for attention is literally won or lost in those initial moments. The blueprint totally recognizes that you could have the greatest financial advice on the planet, but if you don't shock the viewer into staying within that 5-second window, they're just going to scroll right past. The entire success of the piece hinges on this immediate, captivating opening. Okay, so once you've hooked them, the flow is completely mapped out. The blueprint orchestrates a highly deliberate psychological journey. You move from that shocking opening straight into the meat of the content, explaining those hidden traps. Then pivot to comparing habits for that stark visual contrast. But crucially, you can't leave the viewer feeling depressed or hopeless. So step 4 demands practical steps that literally anyone can take. Finally, finish with an inspiring conclusion and a massive call to action. It's an engineered emotional roller coaster, completely designed to leave the viewer feeling informed, empowered, and ready to actually do something. And the voiceover delivery itself, just as tightly controlled as the script. It has to be highly curated, confident, story-driven, but still perfectly accessible for absolute beginners. The instructions explicitly call for professional American English that is engaging, This makes sure the narrator sounds authoritative enough to actually trust with your money, but warm and narrative-focused enough that it doesn't feel like some dry university lecture. It's a very deliberate balance. Let's jump to part 4, visual and audio aesthetics. Premium modern doc. The visual requirements here are intense. They're mapping out scene-by-scene visuals that combine cinematic transitions with highly specific imagery. We're talking animated charts, stock market graphics, dollar bills, and classic American suburbs. Why the American suburbs? Because it visually hammers home the middle-class element of the title. The framework also specifically pairs budget animations and minimal text with premium motion graphics. This ensures your eye is constantly engaged with slick movement and high-quality design. It totally prevents visual fatigue and keeps you glued to the screen. And to guarantee they hit the exact right vibe, the blueprint leaves zero room for misinterpretation. It literally lists out these massive YouTube channels, Magnets Media, CNBC Make It, Graham Stephan, and The Plain Bagel, as the gold standard references. These channels are absolute masters at combining high-retention editing with pretty dense financial topics. By pointing directly to them, the blueprint ensures the final cut is going to seamlessly blend right into the top-tier ecosystem of financial content you already know and love. Finally, Part 5, the ultimate goal, evergreen education. This quote straight from the source completely summarizes the mission here. It's not just about a quick spike in views. It's about engineering, high watch time, and long-term evergreen relevance. Evergreen meaning this content should be just as valuable and clickable 5 years from now as it is today. They are building a digital asset. The killer hook, the laser-targeted demographics, the premium aesthetics, these are all calculated levers being pulled to achieve one thing: practical education wrapped in an irresistible, highly retained package. But check out this strict boundary right here. This is so important. Despite aiming for maximum virality and engagement, the creator is explicitly forbidden from making unrealistic promises or guaranteed wealth claims. In the finance space, trust is literally your most valuable currency. Sure, promising someone they'll get rich quick might score a cheap click, but it will absolutely nuke your attention and destroy your credibility. This instruction keeps the content grounded, ethical, and actually useful, which paradoxically is the real secret to long-term digital success. So it really makes you stop and ask yourself, knowing the exact formula used to engineer these documentary-style explainers, is it going to change how you watch personal finance content from now on? It definitely leaves you wondering. Once you can clearly see the blueprint, the hidden 5-second hooks, the mandated lifestyle comparisons, the calculated emotional arcs, do you consume the media differently? It's just a fascinating look at where education, psychology, and digital engineering all collide. Definitely something to chew on the next time you click a piece of content promising to reveal the hidden secrets of wealth.